So, welcome everyone. This tutorial is all about the new feature of CorelDRAW 2020, and it's the bitmap lens effect. So, I'm gonna describe that um, with this image here. So basically, this image here is the one that we're going to place the bitmap lens effect. So the previous effects, for sorry, the lens doesn't have the bitmap effects. So for example, here is just an example. For example, so you draw a circle or any shape, okay, and you go to effects and then lens. So when you click on effect and lens, you're going to see this ones here, right? You got magnify it. So bitmap effect wasn't there, okay, in the old version, but I'll show you later what bitmap effect would do. So anyway, the lens would make the part of this circle, okay, the object, as in whatever you put in here. So what I'll do, I'm just gonna remove the outline so you can take a look. So for example, this circle goes to his face, and then here in my lens, I would just choose, say, fish eye. I didn't actually do anything. I think I have to change the viewport here. Yeah, see this one here? It goes smaller. You won't see the effect too much because it's not a pattern or it's not a vector. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove this and it goes back to normal. But the magnify would make a difference. So for example, magnify. So basically, whatever's inside the circle, which is the lens magnify, the image, of course, would also magnify. So that's gonna be useful too. So for example, you want to magnify one of the, an area of your image. Anyway, so let's go back here, and then same thing, heat map. So those are the effects. In my experience, I don't really use a lot of effects. I mean, effects like bright and color. But the bitmap effect is, I was surprised because the bitmap effect is useful in creating effects to a portion of the, or an object. So for example, here, I'm just gonna delete that, and let's do an exercise here. So for example, in Photoshop, you can see photographs that's been manipulated. Okay, you can, right now in 2020 version, you can actually do it without going to Photo Paint, or you can just like do it in CorelDRAW. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is you have to create an area or an object, right? The area. So for example here, so say for example my objective is to make the arms bigger. Okay, so what I'll do, I'm just going to, basically I'm going to make an area, say for example like that. Okay, and then I'm going to remove the outline. So right mouse click on this icon here for no outline. Okay, and then I'm going to apply the lens. So click on effect and click on lens. So when you click on lens, a dialog box will show up, and this is the one, right? Right now it's no lens effect. So what we're going to do is the bitmap effect. Okay, so when you click on bitmap effect, all the effects here you can actually apply to that area. Okay, so when I was exploring this, I discovered the distort option, and then you click on mesh wrap. Okay, I'm gonna reset that. So the mesh wrap means to say, if I'm just going to exaggerate this, for example, I'm gonna make this, I'll make his arm bigger, and take a look at the image here. It changed, right? So I'm gonna reset that. So basically here, you can actually um, change the photograph without changing the original image. I think they call it non-destructive effect, bitmap effect, because you're not actually uh, distorting the photo. You're only using the lens, and whatever is inside the lens is distorted. Now here in guidelines, there's also a good tool here that it divides this. So for example, right now we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 nodes to edit, right? Say for example, we want to edit that. Okay, I'm just going to reset that one. So what I'll do, I'm going to increase the grids. So just move the slider here. So that's 6 grid. It's going to make it. Probably I'm just gonna make it 8 grids. Okay. So now this is also good because it's automatically previewed here. So for example, I want to increase the size of his arms. I'm going to go into one grid and make his arm bigger. Right. So this one acts like like Photoshop or Photo Paint, but you're actually in CorelDRAW. You notice it's changing now, right? Okay, so let's go with the forearms, and there you go. So basically, you can distort whatever's inside the area, and then you click OK here. Okay, now let's see I'm going to copy this. I'm gonna go plus sign the keyboard just to duplicate the original and then put it side by side. So I click the plus sign and then move out here, and let us see the difference. So now you can see a big difference, right? Just gonna hit F4 to zoom to fit. Oh, I've got images here. I'm just gonna delete that, and then F4 again to zoom all. So now you can see there's a big difference. But and then what you can see, it's you know why it's non-destructive, because if I click on it, or if you go to view and then you click on wireframe, see this square here? That's the area that has the lens on it. So what will happen is that I can even separate this and then move it outside like this. See? But this one's distorted already. So I'm just gonna undo, Control Z to undo. And it goes back here. So let's try another one. I experimented on the face because I thought that when you edit the say the eyes here, that it's gonna be you would notice the distortion, but actually it didn't. So let's click on square again, or rectangle, and then let us, I'm gonna zoom in. Maybe I can make it smaller. Okay, the box smaller, and I'll put it inside here. Okay, that's good. And then I'm going to remove the outline. So removing the outline is right mouse click on this icon here for no fill. Sorry, no fill and no outline. And then I can go to remember to click on bitmap effects here. Okay, because I'm already in lens, right? So I click on lens, is already there. Okay, and you just have to click on bitmap effect. Okay, and you notice this white line. That's actually only a preview, but when you zoom out later on, you won't see that line anymore. Okay, so now I can go to effects and then go to distort and then mesh wrap. Okay, the mesh wrap that was did last time is still there, so you can just reset that. Okay, now in order to be more realistic, make sure to increase the grid lines. so that you can really control the distortion. So let's experiment on 10. Okay, I'm gonna go to 10 and then look at the eyes here. So my objective here is to make the eyes smaller. Okay. And if you notice, it's great because you don't see any you know, a non-realistic distortion. Just gonna move that. And you can also move this one so it's more realistic. There. Okay, and then click OK here. And now we made the eye smaller. So if you put it side by side, you really can see the difference. But if I say, for example, I'm gonna zoom into this area, you don't really see like a you know, like the distortion, like it's obvious that it was distorted. No, it's just like it's photographed, right? So yeah, that's a great addition to the new tools of CorelDRAW 2020. I'm gonna hit F4 to zoom all. And I know you can also do this with vector image. So I'm going to import a logo. I'm just gonna import a logo here. Okay. So I'm gonna import a vector logo. So it means to say it's all vector, and so for example here. Okay. So that's my logo, and you know, it's vector. If I click on view and click on wireframe, you can see all the lines, right? So I'm going to click on enhanced. I'm probably just gonna undo this, I mean ungroup, and then delete this one. And say for example I want to change, I'm gonna distort this one. Okay, so same thing, you click on the rectangular tool or circle or whatever vector shape you want, and I'm actually just going to do the CorelDRAW wording, and again right mouse click on the outline tool, no outline, to remove the outline. Okay, so make sure this is checked, okay, lens, and then now we can go to distort, and then you can go mesh wrap. So I'm gonna reset that. Okay, we can click guidelines. Sorry, I think we have to. Okay, I think we have to select it first and then click on. Oh, you know what? I forgot to click on Bitmap Effects. So click on Bitmap Effects. Okay, so make sure don't forget, and then go to Effects, and then you can do the distortion mesh wrap. There. So I'm gonna reset, and then say for example I want to make it wavy, and then I can make this go down. Okay, you can achieve this with envelope too. There, and then click OK. It's perfect. Okay, but remember there's an area only here with the lens that makes it distorted, because if once I move this one or move it outside, it goes back to that. So I'm gonna hit Control Z to undo, go back there. So now let's experiment on lines. So for example, we got lines here. Okay, I'm gonna color this black, and then right mouse click on this to remove the outline, and then I'm gonna click on the plus sign in your keyboard. So that means to say it's the offset, duplicate without an offset. And then I'm going to click on Control D to duplicate. Okay, let's experiment on this one. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to apply the bitmap effect. Sorry, I have to create an area first. So for example, our area is, I'm gonna make the whole thing as my lens, and then right mouse click here, and then I'm going to go to effects and then lens. Lens is already there. So then I'm gonna go to bitmap effect, and then go to effects, and then go to distort, and then mesh wrap. I'm gonna reset that, and then now I can increase the grids. Say for example I want 6 grids, and then I can move this down, and you can see you can create a really nice effect, really nice wavy effect. And those are all vector lines. It's very nice pattern. So with this new effect, I would probably use this a lot, and that's great. And also there's also one feature here that you can save the preset. So if I click on plus here, and then it will ask you to save, right? So I'm going to save it, say wave. So this is the wave preset, click save. And if you notice here, you have a drop down and it says wave, right? So that's useful. Say for example, I click OK here. Say for example, you have again lines, right? If you have lines here, here, plus sign in your keyboard to duplicate, and I'm gonna move this down, and then Control D. Okay, say I'm just gonna go like this. If you want to center all of this, you just select all the lines and then type in C, the letter C, that's align center vertical. So now I'm just going to say I'm gonna make it circle my lens or an ellipse. Okay, I remove the outline, and then effect is bitmap, and if I go to effects and then click on distort and then mesh wrap, and I click on the wave. So actually wave, I'm gonna reset that and then click on wave here. So wave actually is the same, you know, grids that I use with this one here, and then I'm just gonna click OK. There, that's great. Now while I was experimenting on that, say for example you want to make this vector image, right? But then you can't separate it. Say for example I want to edit each line, but I can't because it's a bitmap effect, right? So I discovered that you can trace this, right? So if you select all and then click on bitmap, convert it to bitmap first, convert to bitmap, and I'm just gonna make this say 200 dpi, black and white, 1 bit's fine, and then you can trace it. You can do quick trace, and there you go. These are vectors now. You zoom in, and then you can ungroup, and then you can color it, right? So there's a lot of potential on that bitmap effect feature. Okay, I think I'm done. I hope you learn a trick there, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification. I right now I am regularly creating live sessions for tutorials, and please stay tuned. Goodbye.